Fergus Falls native Gregory Fitz has a unique way of producing his art. Fitz uses spray painting to create a combination of painting and graffiti art. Here's a look at his process and his artistic style.
I work fast. Very little of this work has more than minutes involved. I want to work faster. I want to work as immediately as possible, but tend to be with construction grade materials, real modest materials. The paintings are on extruded polystyrene insulation. These paintings are on a foil-faced insulation. The big panels are on simple plywood OSB. I actually knew about the Nemeth because they've been showing great people. And I've had friends and colleagues show work up here. I've kind of admired the program for a while. And it was great to get a phone call. And then I came up this spring and saw the room, and it was just lights out. And for this one, we settled on 3 different series of painting, new iterations of them, and then a singular photo. Yeah, and kind of built around the theme of landscape and natural representation, again in this spot spanning between abstraction and claimed representation. You know, it's amazing to me. I grew up in Fergus, right? And it's been incredible to watch the attention that the arts get and the work these people are doing, both in Fergus and Park Rapids. There's an art center opening in Bemidji, to bring really interesting work out to these locations.
In contrast to our permanent collection of paintings, with some dating back to the 16th century, we exhibit contemporary living artists, mostly non-traditional work. And with help from our exhibition committee, we're able to bring Gregory Fitz to Park Rapids. This is a very unique situation that we have here, because normally you would have to travel to Bemidji or Minneapolis or Fargo to experience contemporary art in this way.
It's great actually to be back in this part of the state, right? I've lived in Minneapolis since 1996. I went there for school, work at Macalester, work in St. Paul. Danielle and I have a house in Minneapolis. But it's pretty fun coming back out to my country, right? And bringing my work with. The last few years, I've been mostly working with glazes of acrylic, the sunrises and sunsets, still working with that process. But a few years ago, I don't know, I got keen on spray paint. The paintings are all skewing between representations of claimed natural phenomena, sunrises and sunsets, fleeting natural phenomena, and abstraction. In the Aurora Borealis paintings, spray paint does these beautiful hazy mists on a surface that I can't get with a brush. And so they toy with that interplay between the illusion or representation of how northern light might behave if you witnessed it, versus the sort of industrial process that makes that illusion, makes that physical presence of the paint possible. And the new painting, that's more or less the process that I'm drawing on. Something where it is utilitarian and it's a mechanical intervention rather than the intervention of the hand and the brush. Spray painting is great for writing. It makes those gestures. The spray paint, I was first using it just as a way of quickly scribing, writing, and getting those mists. And now I'm using it more to obscure, cover, and write. 400 is in March 2015. This past March, we crossed this threshold of 400 parts per million CO2 in the atmosphere. And this is just an astounding benchmark from a climate change perspective. And as we race towards at least 2 degrees of warming, it just became a fixture for me. Since I'm making work that is essentially landscape-based work, it was a way of starting to insert some language and some content and then covering it up and just stacking up layers. And it's sort of a touchstone. The work I'm interested in, at least now, is work that is very immediate, it's fast, and it's a little noisy and a little cumbersome. It's not virtuosic painting. But that's the sort of work that seems tense to me. And for years what it was is I would look at paintings I was halfway through and I liked them at that stage, but then I would go through this process of finishing it and legitimizing it, and I always missed that earlier, rawer moment. I think with minimalism, if somebody is willing to give you the benefit of the doubt, they can meet you halfway. And that's the risk. Someone can dismiss them. I've had people tell me, they're like, well, what did that take you 10 minutes? I was like, well, 5 really, right? And so it's also a way of kind of wondering aloud about how we use labor to qualify accomplishment. How many hours something took. I'm interested in jazz musicians who are playing a solo, and that solo is happening in real time and in real space, but it represents years of decisions making and years of practice, even though it's happening in the moment. Maybe there's some of that. And then it just comes from personal bias, right? Like, I like reductive, spare, minimalist work. I like John Lee Hooker. I don't listen to Mozart.
Prairie Mosaic is funded by the Minnesota Arts and Cultural Heritage Fund with money from the vote of the people of Minnesota on November 4th, 2008, the North Dakota Council on the Arts, and by the members of Prairie Public.